Thanks, Jerry. We love you.
Oh, yeah. We noticed that we never say thanks to Jerry anymore, so thank you, Jerry.
Jerry, our second J-Man.
Oh, it is.
Because we got James and Jerry.
What about Jameson?
He's number one.
He's number one. Okay, all right. So
we
Jerry...
won't tell you where James and Jerry stand in that ranking, but Jameson's number one.
Yeah. So Jameson, James, Jerry, not in that order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, welcome back to Bibliophiles Audiophiles.
Yeah. Today we are doing The Mother-in-Law by Sally
Hepworth?
I think I'm actually going to kill myself. We're doing The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Ma'am, you have the description. Do you have it in front of you now?
I do. In front of my eyeballs. A twisty, compelling new novel about one woman's complicated relationship with her mother-in-law that ends in death. From the moment Lucy met her husband's mother, she knew she wasn't the wife Diana had envisioned for her perfect son. Exquisitely polite, friendly, and always generous, Diana nonetheless kept Lucy at arm's length, despite her desperate attempts to win her over. And as a pillar in the community, an advocate for female refugees, and a woman happily married for decades, no one had a bad word to say about Diana except Lucy. That was 5 years ago. Now Diana is dead, a suicide note found near her body, claiming that she no longer wanted to live because of the cancer wreaking havoc inside her body. But the autopsy finds no cancer. It does find traces of poison and evidence of suffocation. Who could possibly want Diana dead? Why was her will changed at the 11th hour to disinherit both her children and their spouses? And what does it mean that Lucy isn't exactly sad she's gone? Fractured relationships and deep family secrets grow more compelling with every page on this twisty, captivating new novel from Sally Hepworth. It's beautiful, right? Trigger warnings are suicide, death in the family, death of a parent, terminal illness. That's the only trigger warnings that I wrote down.
I mean, with the way Storygraph does their trigger warnings, like, they'll have a summary of, like, I guess the ones that are, like, the most selected in terms of trigger warnings.
I missed a couple.
But
infertility, murder, and miscarriage.
Yeah. But the way it works on Storygraph, when you look at the content warnings, if you click on View Summary, it'll show you the summary of, like, the most
graphic, minor.
Well, not just that, but like when people like do set their reviews and stuff to at the end, they'll pick up what their trigger warnings are. So this, I'm pretty sure, is like what's the most selected.
Yeah.
But if you go to see all, it'll show you all the ones that people have like selected.
Yeah. Oh,
so like there's like a bunch, but the couple that we listed are the ones that like people have selected the most.
Yeah, mostly said, "Hey, this is in this book." So yeah.
Anyways, speaking of like reviews,
great segue,
right? I'm like a pro. The average rating on this is a 3.85. You know what? I had that up, but I forgot that I kind of need to have the reviews up too.
You know, that would help a little bit.
So we'll go from, I guess, bottom to top. So this one here that I have is a no-star review. It's just content. It says, this book seems to be one which nothing really happens for a while. After the last book I read, which I gave a 5, this one is putting me to sleep. We have 2-star, a mediocre thriller. I thought there would be more bad blood between Diana and Lucy, but it did not seem like a toxic relationship. The end was unexpected, but also kind of disappointing in my opinion. 3-star, I don't know how to feel about this book. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't at all what I expected. I'm not sad I read it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it either. 4-star. This book grabbed my attention from the first page and held it through the end. I'm pretty sure I considered every character to be the one that killed Diana, the mother-in-law, except for the one that actually did it. I loved how the author wrapped the story up in the end and left a tragic story feeling hopeful. Recommend. And a 5-star. It was 100% not what I was expecting. And
same.
That's that.
Yeah.
I know you just said same, but before we dive into that, James.
Take it away, James.
There's some spoilers coming up, sweetie. You better cover your ears.
Thank you, James. I love how we always give a moment of silence.
Well, it's good. I mean, I could create like a gap of silence,
but it's easier.
But it's easier just to give it just
that's what I thought,
you know. But anyways, James, one of our J-men.
One of our J-men, you know. Got the JJJ, not the KKK though.
Yeah, no, that'd be bad.
So this one is not on Kindle Unlimited, and It's on Amazon Kindle for $9.99. Where did we get this book?
I found it.
Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure, though.
Yeah, I went into a Barnes & Noble because I was looking for a book.
Really? At Barnes & Noble?
Yeah, could you believe it?
I did not ever think that they would have that.
Right? Who would have thought? But the closest Barnes & Noble to us is like an hour away.
Yeah.
So I think I got like my oil changed or something, and I had time
to kill.
kill, so I was just like, let's go. And I wanted to find this one book, but I ended up not finding the book that I wanted because I think they had it in paperback, but I wanted it in hardcover.
Yeah.
Because I'm a picky.
Beep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You really are.
So,
I don't know about picky, but the other thing, certainly.
Yeah, 100%. You know? But I was walking around, and because I didn't see that, like, anytime I walk into a store, I feel bad if I don't buy anything. So I was walking around, and I saw it, and I was just like, that actually kind of looks interesting, because we had just read The Perfect Marriage at that point, and I was just like, I kind of want to read it like another, like, thriller, mystery, suspense kind of like thing.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse, the fact that you went to a chain bookstore, or the fact that you went to a bookstore and almost walked out empty-handed.
I didn't. I was planning on walking out with something.
Yeah, like, you
had to
have to get at least one thing.
Yeah. So I did. I think I bought another book, too, but I don't remember what it was. But I know I definitely bought that one at that trip. I can't remember what it was, but anyways, I bought The Mother-in-Law from there. The cover was kind of appealing, too, because it's just
I really like the cover,
It's just a suburban house.
Looking through the blinds.
Was there someone in the window? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure.
So it was just like, it kind of looked really cool. And I read the back of it, and I'm just like, ooh. So.
Well, it's kind of like a shady-looking, shadow-looking person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I really like the cover. Not that we judge books by the cover or anything. I mean,
listen, I've invented it. I do.
I do, yeah.
You know, like, it's the first thing you see next to the title. You know
exactly. I mean? My mother-in-law saw me reading this and asked if it was a nice book. And I was like, well, I mean, the mother-in-law gets murdered, I think, so.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, nothing against you, I promise.
It's just, I told you to read it.
Yeah.
Because I've been wanting to read it.
Yeah, I'll just say it, Alyssa took it out.
That's like my excuse for like reading a bunch of books. Any of the books I pick out, I'm like, I've been wanting to read it.
Yeah.
But like, I haven't. So like, this is a great excuse to read it.
Exactly. Especially if it's weird, then we can just blame Larissa.
Yeah, Larissa, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
Any of that weird stuff.
Yeah.
It's all you.
That all came
it's
from
all
Larissa.
you, sis. Oh, so her daughter's name is Harriet, right?
Yes.
I hate the name Harriet. I really don't. And, like, I'm sorry if your name's Harriet. It's nothing against you.
Yeah.
It's just not a nice
All the
name.
names in this book was weird. And I wonder if it's because this book was not American-based. I'm not sure. Like, you know how sometimes you're reading a book and you can tell whether it's, like, British or American?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this was American. I don't know
it was
what
Australian.
It was Australian?
Yeah.
That makes so much sense to me now, because I'm just like, they have some weird names.
Yeah. No, it's Australian. I don't remember how I figured that out. I don't know if it was in, like, the first chapter or something.
Yeah.
Did you know that Australians call flip-flops thongs?
Yes, I learned that from Bluey, actually.
I was just like,
because there's an episode, and it was like, look at my thongs, and I was like, what? Because, like, Elizabeth was watching it.
Anyways.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, like that. I thought they said it in this book, but I guess not. Because I was going to write it down.
Over it. But I was sitting there reading this, and I'm like, these names are really weird.
They're not that weird.
I've never met anybody like Diana. Do you say Deanna or Diana?
Diana.
I say Diana, too. Here in Alabama, a lot of people say Deanna, and I hate that because it's obviously an I. Mm-hmm. So I say Diana.
I love the name Lucy, though.
I do love the name Lucy,
I want to name my daughter Lucy, but not with a Y, with an I-E, because quirky. I feel like Lucy with an I-E kind of looks better than a Y.
If you're going to do that, you should just go ahead and do, like, Lushie, Lucy, you know?
No.
Make the H silent.
No. No, I just think...
Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news tonight at 9. We've got two idiots on the microphone. With Bibliophiles Audiophiles News, I'm James. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Anyways, we are way off track. The mother-in-law is insufferable, and I can't... Not mine, Nancy.
Yeah.
If you're listening, I'm not talking about you at any point during this book.
No.
This mother-in-law is insufferable.
Yeah, in the beginning. In the beginning,
yeah.
For sure.
Like, towards the end, like, the last few chapters, I really understood her.
Yeah.
And could, like, relate.
I loved Tom.
I did
He
love
was
Tom.
so sweet.
Yeah.
But one of the things that, like, irked me about him, though, is when he first met Lucy, one of the things he said to Oliver was, "Well done, son. You know, like, what a great pick." And
that bothers me.
I hate when people do that because it kind of feels so demeaning.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's kind of flattering, but I
actually have been in a situation like that before. My husband took me to a work party, and one of his employees, he was like an older guy, I'm going to say probably 50s, and he was obviously drunk, and he walked up to me and asked me if I was Nick. I was his fiance at the time, and he was like, "Oh, you know, how did you land her?" And he's talking to Nick, and then he looked at me and he was like, "Why are you with him? You could do better." And I was like, "Thanks, but why would you say that?" Like, that's flattering because apparently I looked really nice, but at the same point, my soon-to-be husband is right beside me, and you see him every day of the week, and you say that in front of him. Like, that's just, I don't know why people have, like, just say congratulations.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say. Leave it at that.
Yeah, no. Like, I mean, aside from that one comment, though, I love Tom. Which, Tom is the father-in-law.
Yeah,
for people who don't know.
I was imagining my dad as Tom.
Yeah.
It's like, I could see my dad being a Tom.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
I don't think he'd make that kind of comment, though.
Oh, definitely not. No. He just told my husband that when we got married...
I remember this story.
Yeah, my dad told my husband, "You bought the cow, now you need to buy her a pasture to graze in," because we were still living with my dad after we got married. So, yeah, my dad thinks I'm a cow. That when I was pregnant, every time I walked in the room, he's like, "I just saw the belly walk in first." And I'm like, "Thanks, Dad."
But you know what? Yeah, Tom vibes.
He is giving Tom vibes.
Oh, I wrote a really bad joke on here. I'm going to wait till you're done drinking that because you might laugh. So, I wrote down, because like you said, Diana is really...
Insufferable.
Insufferable. And I wrote, "Diana seems so cold." And then I wrote right next to that, "Like her dead body, haha." Like, that's so bad.
It's too soon. Too soon.
This was like my third comment, too.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, no, I'm not. But, like...
Was she buried or was she cremated? She's buried. They went to the grave. I remember now. I didn't like her for the fact that, like, she mistreated Lucy.
Yeah.
Like, even in front of her kids and, like, her in-laws and all that. And, like, that just seemed really rude to me. Because, like, kids can pick up on that energy. Coming from, like, a divorced family. Yeah. Like, my parents were divorced when I was very young. If they were ever ill with each other, it radiates off of them. Yeah. So, like, kids can really pick up on what you're laying down, you know?
Yeah. And 100% true. Because, like, if my parents said something about someone else, like, especially when I was younger, like, now that I'm grown, like, I can make your own opinions, you know? Yeah. But, like, when I was younger, my parents say something about this, and I'm like, you know what, sis, you right. Yeah. You know? I used to be in dance back when I was, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. And then my mother made the comment saying that she didn't like my dance instructor. So I was just like, okay, I quit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that happened to me too.
That is, like, one of the biggest regrets I've ever had.
Was quitting, because
I love dance. Yeah. But that's another reason why I joined Color Guard, because of the whole showing, dancing and stuff like that is part of it.
You'd be a peacock if you were an animal.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
But, like, kids really do pick up whatever vibes you're setting down.
Yeah. One of my other notes says, "Why is Diana bringing a raw chicken to parents of a newborn?"
Bro, I know. Like, when we had Elizabeth, like, if it wasn't a freezer meal, we weren't eating. Or DoorDash, because we live close to the city. So, the DoorDash and freezer meals is the only thing that kept us alive. So, if someone would have brought me a raw chicken, I'd be like, thanks. But then when they left, I'd be like, I don't even know how to cook a raw chicken. Like, chicken fingers? Yeah, but like a whole chicken? Yeah. How do you cook that? I have no idea.
I mean, when she explained in her point of view, like, the backstory behind it,
that was really sweet. Yeah.
If she would have explained that,
instead of just showing up with a raw chicken, like, here you go.
Or even just, like, made it for her. Yeah. You know, because, like, frozen meals are great and all, but, like, to have a warm, home-cooked, like, meal. Yeah. She probably would have been grateful for that. Yeah. But, I just didn't understand, like, why she would... I mean, I understand why, because of the whole sentimental reason, but, like, I don't understand why.
Well, I really started to understand Diana's point of view on stuff when it started explaining, like, her parenting methods and, like, her past. Because, like, her parenting methods were, like, my kids are going to work for everything.
Yeah.
So when Nettie, is that her daughter? I think Nettie's her daughter.
Yes, because it's, like, Antoinette,
yeah.
I think. Something
it's
like
weird.
that. So Nettie.
So, yeah, whenever she come around and was asking for money for, like, an IVF process, and, like, Diana said no, at first I was like, why would you not support your daughter? But at the same time, she was like, I don't want to give my kids everything in life. I can, but I'm not going to, because then they won't learn to work for it like she had to. Yeah. And that's really good parenting methods, because my parents did that. You know, you're not going to get anything. You're going to work for it. Mm-hmm. And then it mentioned her past. She had a baby out of marriage.
She was a teenager, I think, too.
Yeah. So, like, that was it Ollie the first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Ollie was not Tom's son, and her mother was, like, really unloving and really hateful. Yeah. So for Diana to kind of turn around, and better, albeit, but still not as great as she probably should have been, really made sense. Because, you reap what you sow kind of deal. Yeah. Her mother raised her that way, so Diana raised her kids that way. That's the whole, like, breaking the cycle kind of thing.
I was kind of shocked that, like, Oliver wasn't Tom's, because Tom, which, I mean, Tom's his stepdad, but he treated him like his own son. Which, I mean, it is, because it's his stepson. Yeah. But he treated him like there was no biological difference or anything like that. Like,
I like it when people do that.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Does Oliver even know that Tom's not his?
I was fixing to ask that. I don't think that he knew.
Which I think is the way that Tom wanted it.
Yeah.
I think.
I do remember him saying, like, I don't want Ollie to know that, like, I'm not his dad. Yeah. Because then he might view me differently. Yeah. So I think that does make a lot of sense. I got the vibe that Patrick, like Nettie's husband, was a drunk abuser. Yeah. Because, like, every time he was in the picture, he was, like, hateful.
He was really hateful,
and, like,
towards Diana.
I thought it was him the whole time.
Really?
Because I'm like, he's asking about the inheritance, and if the spouse is included in the inheritance, and then Nettie is stressing because she wants a child, and then all of a sudden they're taken out of the will, and Patrick is losing it. Yeah. So, like, I always thought it was him. I don't like him either way. Whether it was him or not, I don't like him.
I kind of liked him in, like, the first scene that we saw him, because that was, like, when Lucy was meeting everybody. Yeah. And he was, like, making jokes about how Diana is so cold, uptight and stuff like that. And I liked him for that. Yeah. But then I was kind of just like, eh.
He was relatable at the moment.
And then we found out he was cheating on Nettie. Yeah. And no, I don't do that.
The fact that Diana did not tell Nettie until way on. Like, if one of my friends called me and, like, said that my daughter's husband was with another woman, I would be getting evidence immediately and going straight to my daughter. Because, like, I would want someone to do that for me. Yeah. I wouldn't want to still be with a man if I didn't know that he's double dipping. Like, that's not me. I could not live that way.
Oh, another note I had, though, completely unrelated to cheating. Social status is crazy. Yeah. And how, like, that's one of the things that people just care about. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't comprehend how, like, that is just that important to you, where you have the need to feel like
you're important.
You're
better than everybody else. Yeah.
Which I guess with Diana's backstory, you could kind of understand why. Because she used to be, like, in the little socialite.
Upper up.
But then, like, she got pregnant and her parents were just, like,
literally sent her to, like, wasn't it like a nun place where they sent pregnant girls and they took the babies away and sent them home?
Pretty much.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and she was like, I want to keep my baby, and they're like, no.
And then, no. I guess it makes sense, because, you know, she grew up with that life, and now, like, she's back, and wants to be back
preserve that title.
Yeah. So I get it, but I still don't.
I'm going to toot my own horn. I'm a good person.
Oh, really?
But, like, I'm not to the point where I have to be better than everybody else, or it makes me seem lesser than I am. Like, I'll help anybody if I can, but other than that, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous that people care that much. Oh, my next note is drink every time someone mentions Keith stained from a wine. Because at least 10 times in this book it mentioned Like, they smiled and their teeth were stained with wine. I'm like, how often do these people drink wine if their teeth are stained with it?
Don't remember that. But, that kind of makes sense. Because, like, wine is kind of like a snobby person kind of beverage. If it's, like, the fancy kind of wine.
I think I have a couple notes about wine. I drink coffee, but, like...
Me too.
I don't drink wine because it gives me headaches. But, like, how much of it do you have to drink for it to stain your teeth?
A lot.
Yeah, like,
it has to be red.
Just red? Is that the most expensive wine?
I don't think so. I don't know anything about wine.
I don't know. If Lynn listens to this, she is going to be horrified that we're talking. She loves wine.
Oh.
Like, wine tastings and all that. I don't know anything about it. It gives me migraines for 2 days.
But I need to have wine. Sweet wine. I can't do the tart, dry stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't do that. But
I remember the first time I drank wine, I was 16, and I was at my Thanksgiving with my dad, and my grandmother was like, you're old enough, you can have a glass of wine. And it was the most horrific thing I have ever put in my mouth, and I drank all of it anyways because I wanted to seem like a big kid.
Oh yeah.
And so I drank the whole glass, and I hated every single sip of it. It was horrid.
My first time drinking wine wasn't even drinking wine. My dad's just like, you want to try? And you can he was just like, you can do like a finger dip. So I took my pinky and I was just like, shoop. And I don't think I liked it. But like now, like I said, it has to be sweet wine. Yeah. Otherwise, I can't do it.
I've tried several kinds, but it just gives me migraine every single time. I love how we're talking about everything but this book.
Yeah. Oh, I think I wrote this note down, and I think it was in regards to Diana's parents. Mm-hmm. But it's just I don't understand how, as parents, like you don't want to provide for your kid.
Yeah.
Like that's I think in relation to like the social status thing too. It's just like. I understand, like, you want to keep, like, this kind of standing in society. Yeah. But why should that be way more important than your child?
Yeah, because they, like, disowned her because she wanted to keep her baby. So she moved in with one of her cousins or aunts.
It was some distant family.
Yeah, some distant relative. And worked and provided for the baby. Mm-hmm. And worked in the house and stuff before she met Tom. But, like, that's ridiculous. I could never imagine.
I don't get it.
Like, I have... Christian standpoints, and so like you're not supposed to have a child out of wedlock, you're not supposed to be gay, like there's so many things you're not supposed to do, but like I couldn't imagine disowning my child because of them, because like they're still my child. Even if they make different choices than what I have chosen, they're still my child. I'm just like, how do people do that?
There's exceptions though. Like if my child suddenly became a serial killer,
that is an exception.
I'd be like, you know what, I don't know you.
I might visit you in prison a couple times, but that'd probably be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no.
If you became a rapist, sorry, bro.
Yeah, no.
You're on your own.
Who's that? I don't know.
I don't know, man. We just share a name.
Yeah.
No, but, like, I couldn't imagine disowning my kid because they had a baby.
Oh, and then there was the point when, like, Oliver, what did he do? He, like, quit his job at the company and then was starting up his own company?
Yeah, with Eamon. It's Eamon, I think. Yeah.
I listened to this through Alexa, and I don't know.
Oh! I was looking out the window. I was like, what are you looking at?
I was listening to it audibly, you know?
Yeah.
And I forgot how they pronounced it. But
it's like Eamon or Eamon. I'm going to say Eamon. That's way too close to semen. You know what? Let's look it up so I don't sound stupid.
I was going to say, we can just call him Eddie.
Eddie.
But while you're looking that up, I'll just go on with my thought.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So I just don't understand how... Because she was a stay-at-home mom, so she wasn't making any money for them. So I don't understand.
It's Eamon.
Eamon.
Yeah. Aymuhn. Eamon. Yeah.
So I just don't understand why he would just... Because I don't even think he consulted her about it.
No, he just did it.
Yeah. And I'm like, how can you... Because you guys, like, that's a risk.
Yes, especially if you're married.
Especially if you're married. And you had 3 kids.
Yeah, I forgot they had 3 kids. That's even worse. If it was, like, just you and your husband, and he was like, hey, this might be a good idea, and you'd be like, cool, I'll support you. But he just did it.
And then didn't say anything about it?
Did not do anything about it,
And it's just like, I mean, she probably would have supported him.
Yeah, because it did mention how she was like, if he would have told me, I would have been cool with it. But like, he just did it. Yeah.
And it's like...
Which the thing is, he didn't tell her. I don't know if it specifically said this, or if this was just a vibe I picked up. Because Eamon is a user. Yeah. Like, he literally does not do what he says he's going to do half the time. Oh, and so I feel like Ollie didn't tell her because he knew she would have said no.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No. And even if you did do that, you need to have some sort of stable sort of financial income.
Yes.
So even
but
if
she was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
If she had a job and like an actual career, cool. But she didn't.
If he would have, or even if he had like a part-time job just to get something in, especially for benefits like health. Well, this is Australia.
Yeah, you don't have to think about health benefits like you do here in America.
But if we were speaking about America, like you'd have to get like health insurance and like stuff like that because you have a whole family you have to take care of. So like, why would you just?
Kids get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's important.
But Eamon literally just wanted money from Ollie's parents. Yeah. Like, that's all he wanted, because he kept pushing him, saying, hey, ask your parents for a loan. Ask your parents for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you not pick up that, hey, maybe this isn't right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, like, hey, maybe he's only using me because I have a rich mom and dad.
I think it was also sad, though, that if they wanted money, they knew they had to ask Daddy Dearest, because if they asked
Mom, she'd say no.
Yeah.
So, like, they would ask them both, and Tom would pull them on the side and be like, hey, here you go. Which is, I don't know why that would make them dislike their mother. Their mom is smart with money. Like, that's literally it.
I mean, that's probably why they had money, because she was smart with it.
Yes.
And, like, that's the other thing I didn't like, though, about Tom, now that I'm thinking about it. It's just, like...
He went behind his wife's back.
Yeah. I understand wanting to help your kids. What I just don't understand is why you wouldn't consult your significant other about...
The
money
one
like
that owns half of everything that you own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if it was, like, his money...
Yeah.
Like, his money and she had her own money and he was giving
and not
his money...
shared. Yeah.
You know, that... Sure. But I'm pretty sure they shared their finances. And it's just like, why would you... You know? I don't get that.
Which is, I thought, like, they were okay parents. Like, Tom was, like, a good dad. And Diana was, like, an okay mom. But, like, Diana was a terrible grandmother.
Yeah.
She, like, didn't know anything about her grandkids.
You could see she kind of tried.
I think
she was very awkward about it. Yeah. But
when it was, like, Lucy's POV, it's like Diana did not give a rat's rear end. But, like, from Diana's point of view, it was like, I don't know how to do this. Yeah. And I'm like, I really can understand that. Like, I can 100% relate to that. And then, like, she did offer, Diana offered to keep, I think it was Ollie for a little bit, because, like, Lucy was sick or something, so she kept the kids for a little bit, like, 2 of them, because there was only 2 at the point. And then Lucy said, if a murderous gangster offered to take my kid off my hands for a couple hours, I'd be sorely tempted. And I said, same, sis.
I thought about you when I got to that part. I was just like, you know,
that's something I would probably do.
Probably.
You know? I'll get on Craigslist, you know, be like, hey, free kids for a couple hours. No, I'm just kidding. Not in today's age.
The fact that who was it? So there are 3 kids. I can't remember the firstborn's name. Was it Archie?
Yes.
So when Archie, she told, granted.
I think it was Archie.
Grandmas like to do things that, you know, mommies don't want them to do, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So, you know, they have an indoor pool, and she told them, like, listen, I do not want him swimming in the pool. But she was going to let him swim in the pool, but she was going to be there with him. Yeah. And she...
Like, supervised.
You know. And she
So he gave the baby, I think it was Harriet,
was
the baby? Yeah.
To Tom. Yeah. Just watch her, you know, I'm going to be taking care of him. Yeah. And then Harriet falls and hits her head. Because he drops her. Yeah. And the first thing Lucy does is blame Diana.
Well...
Which, to be fair, I get it.
From a mother's standpoint, that would be my response. Yeah. Because if I specifically asked my mother-in-law, don't take my kids in the swimming area, and she did, and something happened, my first response is going to be, I asked you specifically not to do this.
Which I get.
Because Diana didn't tell them that Tom dropped her. Yeah. Until much later.
Yeah, she told them. She was okay with taking the blame for it.
Yeah, because she was like, they love Tom, they can't do without Tom. Yeah. But I'll take the blame.
Yeah.
So I get that too. I would probably do that.
And then it was really sad that, like, right after that, they found out that Tom had... I wrote MND, but I forget what that stands for.
I thought it was MLS.
MND? It would be ALS. MND. Which is, like, muscular neuro...
Motor neuron disease.
Yeah, that. Which is why he dropped Harriet. Because he was
That's the nerves in your brain that tell your body what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was losing that, which is why he dropped Harriet, and then he just didn't say anything to anybody.
Yeah. Because he was like, man, I thought I was fine, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't he go to a doctor's appointment without telling his wife? Or he was going to, but ended up telling her? And then she
Yeah. I think it was because he dropped Harriet.
Yeah.
That's why he was just like...
Something's wrong.
Like,
yeah.
This is serious.
Yeah.
And then they found that out.
But, yeah, I tried a lot to dislike Diana because I was like, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, whenever it got to, like, her perspective and understanding stuff from, like, a mom and grandma perspective, I really understood a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you did or not.
I did.
But, yeah.
Because I wrote somewhere where it's like from Diana's POV, you can see that she tries.
Yeah.
Diana is so self-sufficient. My thoughts on her has like changed.
It has
a
changed
lot.
drastically. At the beginning of the book, I was kind of like, man, she sucks. But then, like, towards the end, I was like, you know what? I understand everything completely. It's like I like books like this because, like, you feel bad for hating a character in the past.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, maybe I judge them a little bit harshly.
You're like, I'm sorry, sis.
I'm sorry. You're dead and you're a fake character anyways. But I'm sorry. I got to thinking it was Ollie after a while because he choked his business partner out. Eamon.
Yeah.
In front of his wife and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was kind of like, man, what feels him? Because, like, Mommy Dearest holds the keys to the bank.
Yeah.
And he's asking for money, and she said no.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he likes to choke people.
I thought about that, too, because I was just like, well, maybe because, like, because he did the stupid thing of quitting his job and doing his own business and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe he was just like, he needs that financial fix.
Yeah.
In order to...
Well, the more I thought about it, the more I was kind of like, no, because he's like a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, very much so.
And then I don't understand, like, why when, like, Diana was, being so cold towards Lucy, why he wouldn't stick up for Lucy. Like, he was kind of just there.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. Like, I understand if you want to respect your mom, but you also got to respect your partner, too.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's so many times when he was, like, just stuck up his mom's rear and then telling his wife she has to go along with it.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Again, I can kind of see where he's coming from. As a mom, I can understand my son making his wife or future partner go along with whatever I say. But, like, I would not want him to do that. Yeah. Personally. Tell me no. I'm okay. I'm a big girl. I can take it.
Mm-hmm. You might cry a little later.
I might cry a little bit. I'll, knowing me, I will cry.
Yeah.
But I'll be fine. I actually started crying the other day. Imagine that. Because I got to thinking about my kids being adults and moving out. Oh. And I started full-blown sobbing. I'm going to cry right now. I'm not going to cry right now. But I'm going to try not to. Yes. That makes me so sad. What? Cured. Yeah. No, but every time I think about my kids growing up, I get so sad.
Oh, here I wrote after, learning about Tom dying. Well, not Tom dying, but like Tom getting the disease. Yeah. But then I guess he died after I wrote this note. Did Lucy like unknowingly help her try to commit suicide? And I was like trying to figure out like whether or not she really did commit suicide or if she was actually murdered.
Or if Lucy helped her.
But I mean, I think she kind of had an inkling.
Yeah.
But she wasn't going to say or do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, it got to the point where Diana full-blown told her about it. And then Lucy was like, I can't do that. And then Diana was like, please. Like, you're the only one that can help me because you're the strongest one out of everybody. Yeah. And so, basically talked her into helping her. And she was going to, but I don't know if she actually went through with it.
She helped her with the whole, like, crypto...
Yeah. Acquiring
and stuff like medicine. That so that she can get those pills.
Yeah. No, I think it was a liquid because it was inside the fridge.
The medication.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Kill yourself medication. And then, we're skipping ahead. Shut up. Anyways.
Oh, I didn't write down everything in order. So, well, not in order, but like...
I think I did, but like, I have not read this book in a while, so I'm kind of hopping around a little bit.
I think Nettie had absolutely no right to be mad about Lucy not wanting to give her one of her eggs to be like her surrogate and stuff like that.
Something else that made me think, I just read this because I actually have not been going with my notes this entire time.
Yeah.
I almost cried. I'm glad Lucy went off on Diana at the hospital with Harriet.
Yeah.
I almost cried when Tom got diagnosed with ALS.
Yeah.
But Ollie asking about the will immediately after made me so mad.
Yeah.
Because literally they were like, kids, your father has been diagnosed with ALS. It's a neuron disease. There's no cure for it. Ollie did not say, I'm sorry, I love you, what can I do? He immediately jumped to what happens with the will if Dad dies first. I'm just like, bruh, my jaw dropped open. And then Nettie asking Lucy about the egg thing and then getting pissed at her about it. I'm like, who made you entitled?
Yeah.
Both of you. Like, literally, all you care about is money, and then, like, this lady not giving you an egg. I understand the need to want a child, but to get pissed off at someone, that's a big ask.
Plus, like, to me, like, if it were me in that situation where, like, I had those infertility issues, if I needed to get an egg from someone, I wouldn't want it to be anybody that I know, especially that close family-wise.
If it was, like, I'm trying to imagine my sister-in-law, I don't know how I would feel. Because, like, that's me growing a child, birthing a child, and then giving it away, and I have no say whatsoever about that child.
Like, I feel like I could be a surrogate for someone. Yeah. That wouldn't be a problem. My problem for me would be using my own egg. Because to me, that's my own child. Yeah. That's not your child. Yeah. That is my child. That is a part of me. Yeah. If it was someone else's egg and sperm and stuff like that, well, like I don't have
embryo?
Sperm.
Is that what it's
embryo.
called?
Like, if it was someone else's, I could do it. That's fine. But if it's my own, I couldn't do that. Because especially since this kid would technically be, like, the kid's cousins. Like, she's got 3 kids, but now she's birthing, like, a 4th kid. Yeah. And this 4th kid shares DNA with my kids, like, directly. Yeah. So I wouldn't want, and then for them to be that close. Yeah. You know, like,
it'd be weird.
It'd be weird, and I wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I would do that for, like, a surrogate for somebody I knew.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just, I've had 2 kids, obviously, and so, like, just the feeling them in your body, like, move and kick and stuff, and when they get the hiccups, like, you are more in love with that child than you will be until they're born. Yeah. And to just that labor, like, going through the labor of labor, and then all of a sudden someone picks them up and is like, all right, thanks, peace. Yeah. Like, no, like, I don't know if I could do that, because, like, I carried that child for 9 months, and now you're just going to take it and leave. Yeah. And I got to deal with postpartum and, you know, leaky breast and with no child. You know, like, that's going to be all horrid. I don't know if I could ever do that.
So I can understand why Lucy didn't want to do that. Yeah. And I just 100%. Don't understand how Nettie could be that entitled where she feels like her sister-in-law owes her that.
Yeah, like, being upset, being like, man, that really sucks. I really wanted this. But being angry over her.
Enough to, like, pretty much not talk to her anymore. Yeah. Until after Diana dies. You know?
And they weren't really talking. They were only talking for, like, funeral benefits. Yeah. It wasn't anything important.
When we found out that the reason why Diana died was because of Nettie.
Do what?
Because Nettie killed Diana.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of gasped. I was just like,
I didn't know. I did not see it coming.
I felt like they all kind of had motive.
Yes.
They all did.
Everybody but Tom at this point, because Tom's, like, dead. Yeah. But, like, everybody else had motive this entire time. And so I was like, oh my gosh.
But it wasn't intense, you know? Yeah. Like, the Paris apartment, everybody in that book also had motive. Yeah. But it was intense. Yeah. Like, there was so much suspense. Yeah. This one, it wasn't that suspenseful. It was very, like...
Laid back.
But you could tell that, like, there's a bunch of people who definitely had motive. Yeah. Because of how Nettie reacted to Lucy saying no to giving up an egg.
That's kind of tipped me off a little bit.
Well, that, and I feel like, I don't know, with her attitude, like, once you, like, see everything progress, and how, like, her attitude and her everything else, like, changed.
Losing her mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see it. Yeah. So, you know what? It gives me Mimi vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, she really does, like, the spoiled little girl. But she really did. Like, just, apparently, like, wasn't Patrick towards the end, like, he divorced her and was like, I'm with someone else because Nettie's need to have a child is consuming. That's all she talks about and all she does.
I don't know if he was divorced, but he was definitely cheating. I think he admitted to cheating. And Nettie was kind of just like, I don't care, I want this child with you.
He talked to Diana about it, and then, Diana confronted him about cheating. And, so Diana was like, why are you doing that? And he's like, but you don't understand. You know, you don't know what it's like to be married to her when her need for a child is consuming our marriage. Yeah. You know, that's all we've done or talked about for years. And so Diana brought it up to Nettie, and Nettie said, I know. Do you think I'm that stupid and I don't know?
Yeah.
But he's my only way to get a child.
Yeah.
And I'm just like...
not true.
No.
But, you know.
I mean, yeah, but still. Like, adoption...
Well, they did mention that adoption would have been difficult because they would have to adopt the kid from, like, another country.
Yeah.
So they mentioned that, which I understand.
I don't actually know much about Australian adoptions.
Neither do I. I don't understand that much about them.
I know one of my aunts adopted a kid from a different country, and it was a lot easier than it was. Which that's sad. Because there's so many orphanages and, like, homeless kids here. Mm-hmm. But we're forced to adopt from a different country.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I did gasp heavily when I found out Nettie died.
Didn't she kill herself?
I think so.
Yeah.
I forget.
Didn't she kill Diana and then use Diana's medicine on herself?
I think so. I think that's what happened.
I think so. Didn't she have like 2 vials and like she put one beside her mom and drank the other one and killed herself?
Yeah.
It was something weird like that.
She had Diana like ingest it to make it look like it was suicide.
Yeah.
But
smothered her with a pillow.
Smothered her with a pillow and then like had her ingest the stuff kind of some way. So it would look like a suicide, which I don't understand why she would do it that way, because if you do an autopsy, they'd probably figure out that she
obviously
suffocated.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of the other...
I wonder if she was betting that they wouldn't do an autopsy since like it looked like a suicide.
Yeah. Well, I think even if it was obvious it was a suicide, they'd still have to do something.
Yeah.
You know. But... yeah, I think she used the medicine just to kind of make it look like, but then they realized that, like, if she was going to do, like, this, she was going to commit suicide in this way, she would have had to take in both bottles. And only, like, one of them was present and taken and stuff like that.
Well, then how come when Nettie did it, it only took one?
I don't know.
I wonder if she got 2 just to be safe. Because I wonder if they were like, oh, one will do the trick, but she's like, well, just to be safe, make sure I die, I'll get 2.
Yeah. Probably something like that. I don't know.
I know. It's been a minute.
Even for me, and I finished it more recently than you.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought it was Lucy. Excuse me.
You never thought it was Lucy?
I never thought it was Lucy.
Yeah, no.
Like, I knew she had some, like, disdain for Diana.
Yeah.
But not to the point where she could actually kill her.
Yeah. I think it was definitely going to be, like, a money-related thing.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
That's why I thought it was, like, either... Nettie, Patrick, or Ollie for the longest time. But
that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, Diana put like all her money to go towards her organization for helping young mothers stay with their babies and stuff.
Which was the advice that she got from the assisted suicide group that she was in. Yeah.
Yes, to leave it for them. And then Ollie and Lucy took over it, I believe. Oh, they hired people like outside America that needed jobs and like places to live, and so they would pay like for them, because that was Diana's idea, and I think she told Lucy that idea. She told somebody, and they were like, "Yeah, you should do this."
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Written.
Yeah. My buzzwords were happily ever after, thrilling, suspenseful at times, and so many good life lessons.
I don't know if I would call this HEA.
It was. Well, I mean, Diana died, and Nettie killed herself,
but she was murdered. Not like...
Yeah, but she wanted to die anyways. So
yeah, she changed her mind at the end, though.
Yeah, I forgot that she did change her mind at the end. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't do HEA. Well, Lucy and Ollie and the kids.
Yeah, that was a nice little happily ever after, where they like...
So I'll put kinda happily ever after, you know?
My comments are good but not super not suspenders.
Yeah, I don't think there's any of those.
No. Good but not super suspenseful. I wanted to know how it would end, but I was not, like, excited by it. Yeah. You know, like, the Paris apartment, I was, like, anxious.
Yeah. This was more kind of like a bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like tying it up in a pretty little neat bow.
Yeah. What'd you rate it?
A 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 3.75.
It's not the worst thing I ever read, but it's not the best thing ever, either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like, I thought it was good, but I just didn't think it was... I feel like if it was more suspenseful, I would have liked it a lot more.
Yeah, it wasn't like gripping, edge of your seat kind of deal.
Intense, yeah.
Yeah, but it was pretty thrilling at times.
Yeah.
Not super great, but the X was better.
Yeah.
The
X, the Paris apartment.
Yeah.
Well, the X I thought was kind of okay. It turned out good in the end.
Yeah.
Paris apartment I really liked.
As for a twist, this was a pretty good twist on stuff.
Yeah, I liked how it was decent.
Yeah, I liked how it was like doing like explaining everybody's reasoning.
Sorry, I'm distracted by being outside.
No, I liked how it was explaining everyone's POV and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like it when books do that.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, oh, Diana sucks. This is her reasoning.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I like
it
when
books
authors
do that.
really help you
Get the whole
understand
picture.
and get everything like that. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, well, I'm ready to wrap up if you are.
Me too. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for listening to this episode of Bibliophiles Audiophiles. Oh,
Yeah, man.
we got some more stuff to say.
Yeah.
We have an email if you want to email recommendations for books or other things. It is biblioaudiopod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And our Instagram, ma'am,
Is Biblio Audio Podcast.
I don't know why I can't remember that. It's literally just 4 more letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave it at pod when I was creating it. I was just like, it should be podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
Biblio
tried
Audio
to do a podcast on the email, and it's like, no. Okay.
That seems really long.
Yeah.
So I don't blame it.
Biblio Audio Pod.
But yeah, we got an Instagram where we got some pretty decent stuff on there. If I say so myself.
Yeah,
You know.
because you are the handler of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do so well, I think. Maybe not, but you know what?
I think
I
you
try.
do. I would not be able to do half the stuff you do.
Um,
Don't forget, October 14th at 9 a.m. in Summerton, Alabama, there is a book fest put on by Booked on Main. It's a bookstore on Main Street. We'll have a booth there for like a meet and greet, maybe some merch. So we would love to meet people if you wanted to come out. I think that's it.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.